Hi everyone, Monsolite here.
Hey, it's Dan. How you doing?
Hi. So today I'm kind of excited because we are talking about what we don't hear a lot, at least when you're looking it up on YouTube. How do we apply the core competencies for ICF coaching in our life outside a session? And I never really had thought about this when I was studying for the exams. Now I'm going through my PCC. We are really immersed in learning these core competencies, which is the container for how coaching works under the ICF. I guess that's the best way to say it. And I'm assuming most people here are going to know that, but for those that don't, I'm sort of sharing that. And what's interesting is as we're learning them, it's always for the container, for the coaching session. This is how we are to sort of uh, withhold ourselves, right? How are we showing up? But you and I decided, hey, if you're not living this, how are you really doing it in the session? And I think sometimes that ends up coming after you've taken the exams, you've been doing the coaching for a while, but you're still feeling like something's off. I still am not showing up how I want to. It's still a performance, it's still work. And so we're breaking down today in our first episode Core Competency 2, which is embodies a coaching mindset. But we want to look at this. How do we embody this personal mindset when we're outside the session? And so what's coming up for you first as we just think about this core competency in our everyday life?
The thing that comes up for me first is intentionality and focus.
Mm.
That when we're in and curiosity. When when we think about showing up in a coaching session, it's about being curious, recognizing the other person's the authority and all of that and learning from them. Yet in our own life, we tend to forget to be curious because we have all this data from who we've been and how we've lived up to this moment. And rather than getting curious about what we could create moving forward differently, we'll get stuck in this is the way it's always been.
Yeah, the question almost for me as you say that is how do we create self-reflectiveness for ourselves? We're self-reflecting in a session. We leave that session, we're thinking about how did it go? What could I have done differently? We've got our mentor helping us. Now we have supervision helping us. We're listening to those phone calls, we're taking those comments. But what about in everyday life? Are we self-reflecting on how did my day go? How was that conversation with my friend? How did I just behave with my partner or my spouse? How am I treating or how am I embodying my own mindset to be a better person for myself? And I don't mean better like the good girl. I mean just better in my everyday life. How can I optimize that?
And even there, we think about in the bullet points for Core Comp 2, coach mentally and emotionally prepares for every session. Do we do that at the start of every day of setting an intention, getting ourselves focused?
Yes.
There's the bullet point of clearing our energy after every session of what happened during that time. How do we clear at the end of every day and reflect back like you were just talking? And the one that's popping up for me now is the referral out when it's out of our scope of practice of getting help for the if it was a session getting help for the client. Do we look for help for ourselves when it's outside of our scope of practice for self to say I got to talk to somebody on this one?
That is so true. And not with it being coaching related. We're talking personal related. I'm stuck. I'm having an issue. Like, should I be referring myself out to get help? I love that idea. It's kind of like many people who fight to exercise every day. It's like, well, maybe it's time to get a trainer. What would that look like? Maybe it's time to reach out and have that referral. And I really love that. And something else you said, the intention with every day. And I do think when we have a work week, when it's like we get up in the morning, we have intention. I think a lot of us are really great at, we've conditioned ourselves or disciplined ourselves to create these intentions. Like for me, I'll talk when I wake up in the morning, I don't look at my phone for the first hour. I do a devotional, I go work out, I do a series of things, and then I come to my telephone. And it's very intentional what I do. But what about on your days off, right? It's a Saturday morning. It's a Sunday morning. Maybe it's a Monday morning and it's your day off. Have all of your self-embodiment gone out the window?
Hopefully not. Hopefully the embodiment turns into a different level of embodiment of today is a rest day. Today is not the hardcore training day. It's going to be the recovery, or it's a taking it off completely and reading or doing something else that's fun and recharging.
So, Dan, you're an MCC coach and you say it so well. Just because I'm an MCC coach doesn't mean I've reached the pinnacle of this mountain.
Not even close.
Um, but you've put in the hours. You've also put in the hours doing your own well-being and your own help. And as we sit here today, as we kind of come to a close with this core competency and how it works in our everyday lives, do you have any suggestions for somebody who's trying to say, okay, I get this core comp to in the session, but I'm still struggling to connect it to my everyday life. Is there anything there that you could help this person with or coach?
Take a moment to actually imagine talking to yourself like you were your own client at the start of the day. What is it that you want to set out for the day? What is your purpose for this day, or how does the purpose of this day connect to the purpose of the bigger thing that you're working to create?
Ah,
And that brings the intentionality in of, is are we talking quantum leap today, are we talking stepping stone?
oh,
And
I love
then,
that. I love
you know
that.
it embodiment is about owning it somatically. So allow it to drop. Don't just think about it, let it drop in and feel it.
And what do you need so that you can feel it, right? I think it's easy for us to stay up in the mind. And I love what you said. How many of us go through our day and we're thinking about, okay, what do I want to get from today? Or what do I want to accomplish today? And it's sort of, as you said, wasn't the quantum leap, but sort of the stepping stone. But how often are we forgetting the quantum leap? Like, what do I want to do today that's going to get me to the bigger picture? Because I see so many of us, I'm included, where everything I'm doing is just to the next day, the to-do list for the next thing. But how is that getting me to the ultimate goal, the ultimate dream?
Yeah, if we think about our lives using the metaphor of a coaching interaction, we might be with a client for 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever that is. That's kind of an arc. And we could say that's like the arc of a lifetime as well. We've got a journey, we're with them. Same thing in our lives. We're helping them craft their lives of what does that bigger arc look like? How are we showing up in the goals that we have, how we want to live the lifestyle, and then showing up each day with intentionality toward our actions today take us toward that bigger picture.
Yep, I love that. It's mindset is lived, it's not performed. So it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter how much mindset you're doing in that session, really to get to where I think a coach wants to be, you've got to be doing it outside the session. The work is outside that session.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Is the classic line is how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And we always, what's our tagline? We always say is, live better, coach, no, live well, coach better.
That's it. Yep.
Thank you. It's early in the morning. I'm totally butchering our own tagline. But on that note, as we exit out of here, we offer a continuing education program. It is around all the core competencies. You get 19 continuing education credits. 18 of them go towards the core comps. It is asynchronous, which means you can do it at any time. You purchase it, you have it forever. You do it on your own time, on your own terms. You finish it when you're ready to finish it. And it goes into a lot more of this, as well as the core competencies in our session. So something to check out if you're interested. Anything else for this session we want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, I think we're covered on this one. The and that 19-hour program, it is not boring AF. We will say that. It's a deep dive, it's entertaining, and you will definitely learn things and get a connection to the ideas of the competencies that you won't get anywhere else.
That's right. All right. We'll see you in the next session.